off the board, and Franzoni stuck starting 15th on this Saturday afternoon. Here, the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tire. Field now over in turn 8 at the bottom of Hurry Downs. We'll head underneath the Johnsonville-Speedville Bridge and into the carousel. So Martin and Fisher getting set to line up this field on the backside of the racetrack into the kink towards Canada, where the field will then start to double up. What I like about the platform here is very long racetrack and get everybody to scrub their tires, everything. By the time they hit the backstretch, they are ready to go. Through the kink right now is the safety car headed towards Canada. And the spot to watch is going to be Victor Franzoni, starting last on the grid. And, of course, we just talked about his qualifying effort, waiting to the last minute, getting caught out by the red flag. That's the danger of waiting. And now one of the fastest racers in the field going to have to come from way in the back.
You know, if you're in turn 1 or 3 or down in 5, get ready, because this guy's great on the brakes, too, which is important. He's going to roll a lot of speed through 1, going to try to get some of the slower guys in the back, some of the national class guys, get them really quickly. And you know he's going to get aggressive coming into turn number 5 when they get on the brakes for the first time. He's going to try to drive it down there deep, making sure that he can potentially get himself into the top 6. He told me top 6. I was thinking maybe top 5. He just needs to get out of the opening couple of laps clean so that he can go to work. He's got a great race car. He knows how fast he is. Of course, Dominic yesterday was able to pull away after a great fight early on with Anthony Martin, but Martin's going to need it quickly. They're going to pack them up here as they work their way up the hill. I believe we got the green flag fly, and we're underway. Green, green, green. Racing in Pro Mazda. Up the hill. Big jump there for Martin. Got a great start as here's the 3 Pelfrey cars. Talk about a pack of bees working their way up into turn number 1. They are 3 wide coming to turn number 1. 4 wide total as they work their way through that corner. Let's just see if everybody can get through cleanly. Franzoni going to try to get a couple of spots here. We'll see where he is when he comes down the hill. Try to pick up that white and blue car, but nonetheless, the Soul Red Mazda of Anthony Martin has that early lead. I want to say 4 cars right now there for the driver of the number 23, Franzoni. I think he's already up into the 11th position. He'll need to see if he can get one more coming down into turn number 5. Again, as I said, late on the brakes will be the move for Franzoni to try to get another one. Nice, clean start there for Martin, though. He's got about 3 car lengths over TJ Fisher. Yeah, there he is right there already. Franzoni right up on the rear, I want to say, of potentially Chris Wright. And again, you got to be really ginger here in the opening lap. He doesn't want to make any mistakes, doesn't want to catch anybody out. But indeed, up on the back, actually have Kaminsky now, so it's 11th position right now for the driver of the 23. He's going to go around the outside of Kaminsky coming down into turn number 8. Kaminsky went to the inside, Franzoni to the outside. Now he's putting pressure here on Bobby Eberle. They'll come through the carousel right there with Eberle now. So that would be for the 8th position. Again, I don't think that Franzoni got the spots he was hoping for in the first 2 corners. I think he figured he may have been able to get a couple. He'll go to the inside of Eberle coming through turn number 11. Is that 11? We call the kink 11? Even though the kettle bottoms is kind of a little twisty bit down there.
A little bit of a twisty bit. There's not many here, but that would be one of them.
Again, working forward here is the number 23 of Victor Franzoni. We'll see where he slots in. Right behind, I believe, potentially up behind Green now. Jeff Green in the number 60. We'll give you a rundown here, but a good start for the drivers in front of Franzoni. Now he's got to go to work. Here's the opening lap. This race, a 30-minute run. It was initially scheduled for 40, going to be a 30-minute drive. That, of course, does not play into the hands of Franzoni. Martin across the line with a 0.3 of a second lead over Fisher. Listoshkin runs in 3rd. Kuna in 4th. Stingray Robb in the 5th spot. Max Hanratty in 7th. Green in 8th. 9th. Green in 7th. Chris Wright in 8th. Franzoni 9th. So not able to get into the top 6 as I may have thought. But again, he will go to work here now. Franzoni settling in behind, I believe, Jay Green now. He's been able to get by Chris Wright, so Franzoni now to 8th as they work their way under the Sargento Bridge just for the second time. Eric, pretty good start for Franzoni, showing the maturity. Remember, he's your point leader. He doesn't need to win. He's trying to minimize the damage now.
Well, he's just trying to mind the monsters, so to speak, right now. Franzoni up to 9th at the start-finish stripe. Maybe he can get 2 or 3 more positions. This is a short race. We say a short race, but this is a long lapse. But 26 and a half minutes to go. There's still plenty of time. Best thing that could happen for Franzoni in this case, though, would be a restart.
Full course caution.
Full course caution would be Franzoni's best friend. You don't want to have anything happen to any of the competitors, but at the same time, that's what Franzoni's really hoping for, is maybe a full course yellow right about midway.
At this point, Franzoni settling into the position there. He was able to get by Jeff Green, so now up into 7th spot. So Franzoni going to see if he can't now reel in Max Hanratty, the number 6. Hanratty and Franzoni actually teammates last year at Arms Up Motorsports in USF 2000. So Franzoni going to see if he just can't keep working. We'll look at some lap times as well. Franzoni's aren't going to be what you expect, as he's going to go deep on the inside and turn number 12 to the inside. Book it. He's through. What a pass for Franzoni. Went deep into Canada corner. Let the car push to the outside, because once you own that apex, you own the exit.
We talk about being patient here, but patiently aggressive is what Franzoni's going to need to be. He's going to need to take advantage of those opportunities, get the clean racetrack in front of him, and chase the next one down, one at a time.
And that was an important pass, because if he got checked up behind Hanratty through 12, he was going to be there 13, 14, probably was going to have to run him up into turn number 1, able to get rid of him there and make that aggressive move. And I think Hanratty knew he was coming, too. You look in the mirrors, and you know it's 23. You know he's coming aggressively. You know he's that much faster. Probably a good idea for Hanratty to let him go. It's going to be an inevitable. He's going to get by at this point. He's that quick. But I think that was a very big move. In fact, look, he's already rolled up on the back of Stingray Robb. A big move there for Franzoni, trying to go after Stingray Robb for a spot in the top 5 now, as the Team Pelfrey cars will be next up on the docket. Fisher, Listoshkin, and Kuna running now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Another big shout-out to everyone listening here on the Mazda Road to Indy app, listening and watching, or potentially on the IndyCar.com race control page. This is the second rung of the Mazda Road to Indy, the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires. And again, some great drivers we've seen work their way through from USF 2000 to Pro Mazda. Here comes Franzoni already by Stingray Robb, and Stingray doing a good job letting him go through. The young rookie from Idaho, again, making way, giving him the spot to the inside of the hurry downs, because Franzoni's coming. And to be honest, for a guy like Stingray Robb, get a chance to follow him for a lap. Where is he quicker? How is he turning in a little earlier? Is he turning in a little later? How's he got the car rotating? Maybe his line's a bit different. Good chance for Stingray to get just a little bit of time to see why Franzoni's so quick.
A lot of times you make up a lot of speed on the backside of the racetrack. It's not necessarily a technical racetrack, but it's a very rhythmic racetrack. And for Robb, just hang out behind Franzoni for a while and absorb.
We'll see if he's able to do that. We'll see if his time picks up. Oftentimes you'll see a driver, potential issue over in Canada corner. Did someone back it in there, Eric? Is that what you saw?
It looked like somebody just lost power and went straight in. Not a good shot of it right now, but I believe there is a car.
Hanratty.
Yeah, that is Hanratty.
Potentially Max Hanratty off in turn number 12, Canada corner. Aggressive battle here now for third between Listoshkin and Kuna. Kuna going to the inside, I believe, to make the move on Listoshkin. And indeed, they're side by side through turn number 1.
Franzoni with the fastest lap of the race so far.
Oh, and he's watching these guys run side by side in front of him, saying, come on, keep doing it. I'm coming. They're side by side. They're giving up lap times. They were 2:10s. He was a 2:08. He was almost 2 seconds faster that last lap because they were battling so aggressively for a final spot in the top 3.
Franzoni is matching the pace of the leader. In fact, actually faster than Martin on that last lap.
He's 5.6 seconds off the lead as Martin looking to try to stretch away, but hold on. TJ Fisher, aggressive. Here comes Franzoni up to the inside. He's thinking about going to the inside, coming into turn 6. It'll be touchy coming out of the corner. He's still on the inside. Kuna doesn't want to give it up. Franzoni thinks better of it, takes a breather. And getting the official word that Max Hanratty, the number 6, now done for the day. DNF for the driver in the Arms Up Motorsports entry. Hate to see it for the driver from Milwaukee. Of course, the home track here for Max Hanratty.
Car behind the wall in turn 12.
Oh, look at that move for Franzoni. Takes it to the inside of the carousel. Book it. Franzoni by Kuna on the inside, and he's going to try to take Listoshkin into the kink side by side, and he's through.
Third place already for Franzona, 15th to third in 3 laps. What a drive for Victor Franzoni.
And in 2 quarters, he goes from 5th to 3rd. He was able to get Kuna going into the carousel, and he's able to make a move to the inside of the kink. Oh, a little bit of understeer, or oversteer rather, coming out of turn 12. And Eric, we talk about drivers who take a while to get comfortable going flat through the kink. How about going flat through the kink, passing on the inside?
That is just not a move that you make here at Road America. Side by side on the kink, it's generally something you try to avoid, but Franzoni made it stick.
I'll tell you, this guy's a killer. This guy's hungry. It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex out there wanting to go for the meat, go for the win.
TJ Fisher, the quickest lap of the race so far here on lap 4, trying to chase down Martin.
Martin, Fisher, Franzoni, Kuna, and Listoshkin. Your top 5. Robin 6th, Green 7th, Wright 8th. Your top driver in the national class is Kaminsky ahead of Eberle and Puderbach. Here, and there's an issue with potentially the number 31 of Puderbach potentially into the tires. Trying to get an update on what corner that's happened in. But again, our spotters telling us that there's an issue, and indeed full course yellow. Hello, Victor Franzoni.
Did I not say that the best friend for Victor Franzoni was going to be a full course yellow about halfway through this race?
Or a little. Are we even?
We're not even.
No, we're not even halfway yet. Oh, Victor's just the smile will be ear to ear behind
turn 14.
Oh wow, that's coming just in there. Turn 14.
Into the tire barrier, skated across the gravel trap from the look of it, and the same thing that we saw in the Verizon IndyCar practice. We saw it a couple of times.
David Malukas in USF 2000.
Lucas in the USF 2000. You know, that corner a little unsettling this weekend.
We talked about it. It's the transition. There's a bit of as you do that coming out of the Billy Mitchell bend out of turn number 12. It's a kind of you're going to the right, you come back to the left to set up for 14. And the transition back, you're also going over some bumps, and then there is also the transition from the older pavement to the new pavement that they've put down. A lot more grip in the new pavement, and once you get in there, if your car's not settled, if you're not balanced and pointing in the right direction, let's say you're just a little bit off kilter, the minute those front tires grab that stickier, that more grippy new pavement, the rear end just starts coming around. We've seen it, as Eric said, on every level. USF 2000, Pro Mazda, we've seen lights drivers go off, and we saw a number of drivers in the Verizon IndyCar Series have trouble in turn number 14 as well. On this particular occasion, it's national class driver Brendan Puderbach in the Fat Boy Racing number 31. He was running nicely, I believe, in the 11th position. That's going to put Dave Zavelson up into 11th, Charles Finelli to 12th, Kevin Bury now into the 13th position. So 2 drivers will now be DNFs, and that will be Max Hanratty, who had an issue on lap number 2, and Brendan Puderbach, an issue here on lap number 3. But, Eric, you said it straight up. You said Victor Franzoni would love to see a full course yellow that restarts maybe halfway through. Well, he got his wish. In fact, what it was, I don't think we had just passed the 10-minute mark of this 30-minute race. He had already got himself back to 3rd. I thought that this was going to be a win for Anthony Martin. He had built enough of a lead, let's not say for Anthony, but for either Anthony or TJ Fisher, because it was a decent lead. It was about 5.5 seconds. No longer. It is now all the way down to 0 as Martin, Fisher, and Franzoni, your top 3. Franzoni getting new life here as we get set to go back to green once they've got the car Puderbach out of the gravel.
Yeah, and Franzoni in this case, was setting a very similar pace to Martin and Fisher. The 3 of them had the fastest 3 laps of the race, and now when you catch a faster car, it's a lot harder to pass. And now you've got 2 cars in front of you, if you're Victor Franzoni, that can match your own pace. So it's not going to be easy But Franzoni definitely hungry.
The one thing that Franzoni really hasn't had yet, and that was the big draft off of somebody super quick. He essentially did everything himself. Now, again, he was able to close up on Listoshkin and Kuna so quickly because they were running side by side. And when, obviously, the slipstream, when you're running behind a car, that car in front punches that big hole in the air that you're able to drive through and get a big draft and able to pull up, as anybody would get if you're following a truck on the highway. But when you've got guys running side by side trying to battle each other down the straightaway, that big, huge air bubble is even bigger, and you're able to suck right up in. And that's why Franzoni was able to get the job done so quickly. And an amazing set as he was able to make those passes, one down coming into the carousel, and, of course, then able to get inside of Listoshkin as they came back to the kink. This one, you know what, I got to say, the momentum shift rolls in now into the side of Victor Franzoni. He's got new lease on life. He's comfortable with the car. The key now is, has he pushed those tires too much? Has he damaged them a little bit, doing the best he could to try to get back to the lead? Being told we're going to see the green flag from Tom Hansing next time by, so we will go back to green. Got to say, this will probably be about 13 or 14 minutes remaining in this race. And again, working our way through what has been an exciting day so far. Renus VK, a massive win, his second, sweeping the weekend in USF 2000. Mateus Laced following up his Freedom 100 win in Indy Lights with a win here. And, of course, our Pro Mazda drivers out here right now for their second race of the weekend. Victor Franzoni looking to see if he can't get back and do it again. IndyCar qualifying coming up as well. It's at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see how the grid lines up for the big boys here at the Kohler Grand Prix, the Verizon IndyCar stars. So many of them actually spent some time here in this Pro Mazda Championship, worked their way up through the ranks into Indy Lights as well. James Hinchcliffe, Marco Andretti, Graham Rahal, Carlos Munoz, Connor Daly, all working their way through the Pro Mazda category. Of course, can't leave out Spencer Piggott as well, as he's been able to come through the entire Mazda Road to Indy ladder system, started in USF 2000, then proceeded to win the championship in Pro Mazda, immediately won the championship in Indy Lights, and the year after found himself in the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Just past the halfway mark now, right about where we expected Franzoni to be in the middle of the pack, but I don't think we really expected him to have this good of a chance now.
You know, had we gone green to checker, I thought that a podium for sure, essentially, he could go for a win. Because all it took, we saw it with Listoshkin and Kuna. All it took was those two guys battling away. Once you start fighting up front, you're going to leave yourself open to the chance for Franzoni to close up. And you could see that I think Fisher was running smart. He was right there in second, wasn't going to battle, wait for the last couple of laps, because there was no need for Fisher to try to go after the win and potentially allow Franzoni to close back up. Now, of course, the full course yellow has taken care of that, and we're getting ready to go racing here. But again, pretty amazing stuff for Victor Franzoni. Has the point lead, took it over at the IndyCar Grand Prix when he was able to sweep the weekend there. He and Anthony Martin in the middle of a pretty big battle. I can guarantee that TJ Fisher would like to get his first win in the books here to get some points to get himself back right into the hunt as well. Otherwise, this could become a two-driver battle. From here, these drivers will look forward another just over a month till we get to Mid-Ohio for a triple header, which will be definitely the turning point for the series. Drivers lining up. We are going to go green again this time by Martin, Fisher, Franzoni, Kuna, and Listoshkin, your top five. It's in the hands now of Anthony Martin to punch off and getting set to go. He'll roll it up the hill, and we are back at it. Tom Hansen throwing it, and we are green once again. Restart here for Pro Mazda, and get ready.
Here comes Franzoni looking to the outside of Fisher. Franzoni to the front wing, clears him. Clears him before the end of pit road.
Yeah, he makes quick work of Fisher to go to second. The Kuna drivers lining back up again. Kuna almost pushing
Get your
Listoshkin.
Popcorn. It's going to be a good battle.
Yeah, wherever you are, get to the fence. Grab a cold beer, come to the fence, because this is going to get really good here. The Team Pelfrey drivers battling it out, as I said, Kuna and Listoshkin right down to the wall at the restart. They're going to get their battle going again. This has allowed Stingray Robb back in the fight as well. Stingray looking to try to take it to the Team Pelfrey drivers. Franzoni, though, now taking a deep breath. He's got himself into the second position. Now is where you assess. How's the car? How quick is Martin? Where am I faster than him on the racetrack? No need to press too hard. There's a long way to go here. 12 minutes still remaining. As I had said about 13, but indeed it came down to 12 minutes remaining as we're now back to green. Driver has come to a stop on the exit of turn number 6, top of the hill. Trying to figure out which driver that is off in turn number 6. Trying to get things rolling again. Yeah, that's the 83 of Charles Finelli, the Fat Boy Racing entry. Just looped it, came to a stop, and able to continue. So great job for Finelli not to get stuck there, able to refire the machine and get going once again. So we avoid another full course yellow. Franzoni right up on the gearbox now. This is going to get good here. Victor Franzoni trying to find a way by Anthony Martin. Martin's going to defend to the inside. Franzoni deep on the brakes. Outside. He goes to the outside. That car twitching from right to left as he's pushing the brakes to the very edge of adhesion. Another driver around. Contact. That's Kaminsky. Big damage for Bob Kaminsky. Kaminsky got into the back of Chris Wright in turn number 12. This could be trouble here because we may go full course. We have not yet. Coming across the line, waiting to see what's going to happen here. Looking at Tom Hansing. No, here goes Franzoni to the outside now. Again, contact between two drivers over in turn number 12. Kaminsky with significant nose damage on the car. We'll see if he's able to limp it home. But here they come. Look at Franzoni trying to the outside. Staying right up there on the gearbox of Anthony Martin. Great race between two drivers. We've seen it graduate from USF 2000. Franzoni relentless in his pressure. Full course yellow. Again, full course yellow frees the field. And up coming underneath the Briggs and Stratton Bridge, one of the Team Pelfrey cars coming to a stop.
And I believe that may have been the car that had gotten together with Kaminsky, perhaps, coming off of 12.
Thought that might have been Chris Wright, but one of the yellow cars for Team Pelfrey slowing. There's the damage. There's the nose of Bob Kaminsky, the number 57, who's leading in the national class. That's going to put Dave Zavelson now into the lead. Picking up a couple of our other cameras here to try to find out what's going on. There's, I believe, that's Kaminsky going off at Billy Mitchell Bend, the cutoff between turn 5 and turn 13. Humaltro safety crew out there very quickly. That's the Road America crew getting out there to get that cleaned up. That was actually the number 82 of Fisher who slowed in turn number 1 and 2. TJ Fisher was third. Car coming to a stop, as we said, coming out of turn number 1 underneath the bridge.
He looked slow on a straight, so I don't know if he maybe had to cut a tire down, maybe run over something, but it was definitely slowed here on the main straight before that yellow had come out.
Well, Franzoni made quick work of him, no doubt about that. So, indeed, you may be right, Eric, that there could have been some kind of a mechanical or some kind of a cut tire. Wisely coming off the racetrack actually after he came through turn number 1. So let's reset here when we can. Looks to me like Anthony Martin still with the lead. Franzoni in second. I think that's Kuna in third. Listoshkin fourth. Jeff Green up into the 4th spot for the Uncos Racing Team in the number 60. Not surprisingly, listening into the radio, Eric, Victor Franzoni saying that Anthony Martin is blocking him, trying to get them to talk to the race control. I don't know if I saw any blocks out there. I definitely saw defensive running down the inside. And of course, listening to the radio, Martin countering that Franzoni was actually hitting him, making contact with the rear gearbox. So a little gamesmanship on the radio here right now, trying to play their cards right here.
Lights are out.
Yeah, we're going green this time by. Excellent job by the Road America crew, the safety crew, to get the carnage picked up from Kaminsky. Of course, he drove his car back up and off the track on the exit of turn number 13, right by the cutoff between 13 and 5. A lot of room there to escape. So we're going to go back to green. As we said, I believe it is Fisher who has fallen to the tail of the field. So the top 5 would then be Martin, Franzoni, Kuna, Listoshkin, and Green. Robb in 6th, Eberle 7th, Wright 8th, Zavelson and Bury 9th and 10th, your two front runners in the national class. So some excitement here, initially playing into the hands of Franzoni, but this is going to come down to a short battle. 7.5 minutes remaining, likely 3 to 4 laps remaining here in Pro Mazda. Here we go again. Out of turn number 14. Anthony Martin, last year's USF 2000 champion, learned a lot on restarts. Let's see if he can hold back the charging lion that is Victor Franzoni. Cape Motorsports, your leader. Uncos in second. And then it's Pelfrey in third and fourth. Green flag flying back underway. Pro Mazda, the final dash. Great start there for Martin as he gets a good jump. Again, working their way down into turn number 1. As we have this battle for the race win. It's reset for Franzoni. Started dead last, worked his way to third before the full course yellow came out. Now finds himself in second and ready battle for another race win.
There was a little gamesmanship coming back to the green flag. Race control saying that the 8 and 23 were very close to hitting even under yellow. So Franzoni just letting Martin know he's there, getting into his head a little bit.
I love it. These guys raced against each other last year in USF 2000. Both race winners, of course. Martin coming away with the championship. Franzoni victorious in Toronto. Here's the run down to 5. Side by side.
Martin
they both drive each other off.
To the outside.
Martin drove him all the way off the racetrack. They were side by side. Here comes the 81 now, Carlos Cunha. Cunha in the number 81, ready to challenge as well. Wow, driver off over into the runoff of turn number 6. That driver will be able to continue just to spin, hopefully able to get that car refired. He's off the track. Right. Off the track now in turn 6. But wow, that was a big move on the outside for the number 23 of Franzoni going deep on the brakes. Martin tried to do it as well, and he drove right off the racetrack. We'll be wondering whether race control will have something to say about that because, of course, Martin trying to go as deep as possible. Full course yellow again.
With 5 minutes left, I think that might do it.
You know what? I don't think there's any damage to the car, maybe just a refire. And I guarantee you race control will try to get this one started up again. They have done whatever they could to get at least one more green. There's Hum Ultra safety crew going up very quickly to find out which driver it is indeed off the track in turn 6. Someone just looped it going into the turn 6 corner, backed it into the runoff area there, all that pavement that's on the exit of turn number 6. Not able to get refired. We'll see what's going to happen here. Martin, Franzoni, Cunha, Listoshkin, and Green, your top 5. And I'll tell you, that was interesting because a great late-breaking move on the outside for Franzoni, and he wasn't able to use that as well as Martin just stayed beside him, missed the braking zone himself, and he would have drove well off the racetrack. Nothing Franzoni could do.
Looks like the 12.
That's Chris Wright, the JDC Motorsports driver. They've been able to pull him back a little bit because there is, as you can see there, some pavement, but then off into some gravel as well. So wasn't able to continue. They pull him back onto the pavement, refire, and Chris Wright able to get going once again.
Well, with if we go green, it might be a one-lap shootout.
I was just going to say, knowing the length of the one lap here, this could be pretty tough. Not surprising, Victor Franzoni on the radio, absolutely livid with getting driven off the track over in turn number 5 and made a good braking move to the deep part of the corner to try to roll some outside speed and was able to get by.
We by no means are race control, but you could clearly see that Martin took him wide there.
Again, did he take him? There's the balance that race control will have to understand. Did he take him wide, or did he try to go as deep as he could as well and then just get too deep into the corner? Franzoni was set up to make the corner on the outside. Again, that's always tough. We'll see if race control has anything to say about it. But nonetheless, as you said, long way around the track here to get back. And I'm pretty sure we'll go back to green this time by. Being told potentially white flag next time by. I don't know if we're going to be going back to green or not yet. Again, trying to figure out whether or not we go back to green.
Restart with 1 lap to go.
Ooh, I like it.
A 1-lap shootout.
So green-white, then the checker, essentially. So essentially a 1-lap shootout, as Eric had said. I like it. I like seeing these guys get able to battle to the end. Martin, Franzoni, hey, Don't count out Carlos Cunha or Nikita Lastoshkin because they were there as well. When these guys start running hard.
Very honestly, with Franzoni and Martin playing head games with each other, Cunha and Lastoshkin have got to be licking their chops right now because that could be the battle for the win.
Chris Wright in the number 12 able to get going again. He rolls down the front straightaway. He'll be on the throttle trying to catch up to the tail of the field to see if he can't grab a couple spots. But here is your lineup now as we work our way around this track one more time. Anthony Martin, your leader. Franzoni second in the 23. Carlos Cunha in the yellow 81 in third. Nikita Lastoshkin fourth in the number 80. It's Jeff Green in the number 60 running in fifth spot. Bobby Eberle in sixth. Dave Zavelson, your leader in the national class in seventh. Stingray Robb eighth. Charles Finelli now second in national in the ninth position. In 10th is Bury. 11th is Fisher. 11 drivers remain as T.J. Fisher, Bob Kaminsky, Brendan Puderbach, and Max Hanratty, drivers out of this race.
Lights are out.
Here we go. One lap to decide the second end of the doubleheader here in the Pro Mazda Championship.
The pace cars clearly picked up the pace a little bit here as they are flying to try to get back. They've got a minute and a half right now on the clock, so this is going to be close to the end for a one-lap shootout.
Oh, we're going green.
Yeah.
I don't care. We're going green if they come across the line here. Again, drivers now working their way down to Canada Corner. Anthony Martin bringing him through turn number 12. This is going to be a good one. Again, grab a cold beer, get to the fence because you got a battle here, a one-lap battle in Pro Mazda.
Race control asking Martin to pick up the pace a little bit.
That doesn't surprise me. Trying to play some games here. There's the number 12, Chris Wright, still trying to catch up to the tail of the field. He'll be at full song when they get back around. Martin bringing it up here to turn number 14. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to green with a one-lap shootout. Martin, Franzoni, Cunha, and Lastoshkin.
30 seconds left on the clock, so this is the green and the white flag. Both are out at one time. It's a one-lap shootout.
Tom Hansen giving it to them. Green, green, green. Restart in Pro Mazda. Here they come. Hold on to your Bud Lights, Bob Wilson. Away we go. Coming down into turn number 1. Martin and Franzoni going to battle. They're side by side. This is going to be the fight. Great job for Martin to hold them back on the opening lap. Side by side go the Team Pelfrey cars out of turn number 1. Looks to be like Lastoshkin getting aggressive down to the bottom. Cunha doesn't want to give it up. Oh, I can't believe there wasn't contact there. Green and Robb ready to take it. Jeff Green and Stingray Robb trying to grab a spot in the top 5, but here it comes down to these two drivers. Martin and Franzoni going to fight it out amongst themselves. The Team Pelfrey drivers are going to fight it out for third into turn number 5 again. This is where we saw the action last time. This time a good run through for Martin, but here comes Franzoni up the inside. Martin's going to block to the bottom. Franzoni goes way to the outside. Big defensive move to the inside, but Martin holding himself to the inside there. Franzoni right with him coming through turn number 7.
Martin's going to have one more spot that he's going to try to hold off Franzoni, and that's going to be coming to 12. Franzoni's going to have one legitimate chance here. I don't think he's going to be able to get him through the carousel or through the kink, but he's going to take it all the way down to the passing lane in turn 12. Martin, the last time down, drove him wide off of exit to 12. Franzoni's last chance is really going to come down in the next straightaway.
If you decide to sit in Canada Corner for this one, well done. That's going to be where the pass could happen here. Here they come through the kink. They'll roll their thumb through one more time into the cattle bottoms. Here comes Franzoni. He wants to get the win. He doesn't need it, but he wants it. They're side by side. Franzoni's going to go to the outside. Into the inside comes Martin for the block. Franzoni going to go deep on the brakes. Side by side. Franzoni trying to give it up.
Just can't get there.
Back up the hill once again. Here's Franzoni right on the gearbox. This could be a run to the line, ladies and gentlemen. They'll come out of turn number 13 through Billy Mitchell Bend. Franzoni doing everything he can to get by Martin. Here they come again. Up the hill. Who gets a better run? Out of 14. This is it right here. Martin's your leader. I don't think Franzoni's got anything for him. Up the hill they come. Who's going to win in Pro Mazda? To the line, Anthony Martin holding off Franzoni. Carlos Cunha can't do it. Lastoshkin back to the podium in third. Martin, Franzoni, and Lastoshkin, your top 3. Cunha in 4th. Stingray Robb, 5th. Jeff Green 6th, Bobby Eberle in 7th, Dave Zavelson, your winner in the national class, Finelli in 2nd, 9th overall, and I believe it'll be Chris Wright coming across the line in 10th. Indeed he does. Eric Mueller, that's what we're talking about.
Great racing. Martin did everything that he possibly could to keep Franzoni behind him.
Wow, absolutely unbelievable battle there, and I'm going to give it up for Franzoni. He pushed as hard as he can, and I think Martin did about everything you could in defense this side of the law because he was aggressive. Coming up to turn number 6, came across the bow, but you're allowed to do that. You're allowed that one defensive move, and he kept it. If you look at the line in turn 6, there's that black line in the middle. He did stay to the inside of the black line. Franzoni dove to the outside to try to get a better run. I think in the end, you may look back, if Franzoni's able to win the championship, you may be able to look back and go, you know what, not making that crazy move for the lead could have been what did it. Now, we could look back and say, you know what, that win for Anthony Martin was where the championship was won. This could be a decider depending on where we go for the remainder of the season.
Absolutely.
Great race in Pro Mazda. Congratulations to Anthony Martin. A big victory there, winning by just under 0.2 of a second. Victor Franzoni in 2nd. Nikita Listoshkin 3rd over his Team Pelfrey teammate Carlos Cunha. And Stingray Robb, another top 5 finish for the young driver from World Speed Motorsports. Anthony Martin, your winner today here at Road America.
Anthony Martin holding them off for a thriller here in Wisconsin. It got pretty physical there on the last lap after that green and white came out with Victor. How nervous were you? He came from dead last to 2nd in not a lot of time, and he was on your rear wing very early.
Yeah, he was extremely fast. When they said white flag and green flag next lap, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. So anyway, it was crazy last lap. To be honest, I can't remember much of it. It was just a blur, but yeah, wow, what an amazing race. And can't thank Mazda, Cooper tyres. I mean, I somehow kept those tyres on it, and Allied Building Products. They all support this event, and can't be more thankful for them.
Now, when we get to Watkins Glen at the end of the year and we're deciding a championship out there, how important do you think this race here today on Saturday at Road America will play when it's all said and done in New York?
Look, the way I look at it, every championship point is so important. So the more I can get, the better. And you know, you look at a lot of championships in the past years, and it's come down to 1 point. So if I can get 1 point, I will.
Okay, and then finally off the green and white, when you guys came through 5, you and Victor both ran real wide off the exit of 5, heading up the hill to 6. Tell me about that move and trying to keep Victor behind you.
Yeah, so Victor went extremely late under brakes. So did I, to try to keep him beside me. And, you know, nature of the beast, we both sort of overshot the corner there and went really wide on the exit. So that's what happens when you're racing, and it's all part of it.
Anthony Martin, congrats, buddy. Happy for you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Good job, bud. Happy for you.
One more driver to bring up onto the podium here. What a fantastic driver was. Able to go from green to checker. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner today in the Soul Red Mazda, the number 8 Cape Motorsports entry, Anthony Martin. Anthony, come and have a chat with me. You know, that was one of those races you'll probably remember for the rest of your life. Mano a mano battle, 1 lap to score the win here at Road America, and for you in the series, full scholarship to run in the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires in 2018. Following the footsteps of some pretty amazing drivers who have been able to score those championships. With Ed Jones last year, Spencer Piggott in 2015, Gabi Chavez in 2014. Drivers we've seen come straight out of Indy Lights right into the Indianapolis 500. Speaking of the Verizon IndyCar Series, they are on the grid getting ready to rock and roll. I think about 10 minutes away from the start of qualifying for the Verizon IndyCar Series and the Kohler Grand Prix.
Don't drop that, for the love of God, Chelsea. Seriously.